contract renewal window has opened. We can try and renegotiate for a better deal with our current team, or approach someone else.
Alright, so this is episode 79. If you missed the previous episode of the French Grand Prix, I recommend go and check that out. So we started last in that Grand Prix to come through the point, to get some points. But we do need to negotiate a contract. Decided to go for a medium risk strategy. I feel that, we've got some podiums this season. We should be able to get a pay increase of $1 million and another bit of dollars for the end of the season. So medium risk strategy. We'll send those demands to Williams, and obviously bankrolled by Porsche. They've agreed. Gives our perk fund of 1.42 million, but there's not a lot we can do with that, because all we can do is the social media team, because that's the only one we've got left, as we've got 2 AERO upgrades there coming through. And the other side of the season break, there's the other 3. So we have a fully maxed out car on the AERO side, and it's going to be a dry weekend from the weather forecast from Mark as well. So that's excellent news. It means we should be able to have a good qualifying. Look at the jump. We're up to 4th. Alfa Romeo up to 3rd. Their driver lineup, unlike Williams, restricts them from doing anything. Red Bull are the 4th slowest team on the grid, but it's so close between those top 8 teams. And then there's a giant chasm. You could fit the gap between the top 8 teams and the next place team, Haas, as well as Aston Martin. Both those probably still got upgrades to come compared to other teams who will be starting to, we've maxed out. I presume Alfa Romeo probably maxed out as well on their departments, but obviously Aston Martin, Haas still have upgrades to come, presumably. And obviously we've got to throw in an R&D reset possibly as well.
Right, we've lost telemetry. In fact, we've lost pretty much all sensor information. It's being looked into now, so just bear with us for a few minutes if you can, please.
It gets better, because there is some rain. Yes, that's right. Qualifying, for the second time in recent races, unforecasted rain has arrived. This time it's qualifying. It's going to get worse throughout this session as well, so we need to set our fastest lap now. That sensor fault may have cost us a chance of pole position, as Magnussen's been able to go around and set his lap of 43.3. We still got DRS, thank goodness, otherwise there are people still in the pit. Bottas is 2nd at the moment, so a good chance for him to get some good pit positions. We've gone 10th down on Magnussen. Piastri jumps Bottas as well. Can we see? And there is DRS disabled, so everyone behind us, I think the Ferrari is okay. I think there's an AlphaTauri that's just come to the end of the shot somewhere. I think Gasly, I think that might be Magnussen, I don't know. One of the AlphaTauris there probably lost DRS down the main straight, and then there's a Mercedes and an Aston Martin on the straight as well. We may have an advantage over, because they may have lost DRS down the KEMMEL straight. But anyway, as we're going to carry on through our lap, through the end of the middle sector as well, we'll have to see what the line is. Tsunoda's gone through as well. Schumacher has also managed to set a lap time. There's a Mercedes and a Ferrari behind us. We're slightly down on Bottas through the middle sector. And it's starting to get a bit heavier now as the session, or the lap rather, goes on. And through these, obviously up to the bus stop chicane is still, flat out. I'm not feeling the effects of rain. It's just that DRS is obviously being disabled. We won't have DRS for this short bit up to the line compared to the likes of Magnussen. It's a 46.2, which are actually enough for P9, but you can see the rain having an effect. We probably could have gone at least a second faster there as well. But we did beat Schumacher. Hamilton and Zhou were the only other people, and then everybody else behind, intermediate tyres. Like, if this was real life, they would all be going out at the start of the session. You've got championship leaders, Gasly, Albon, down the order. So this is advantage both Red Bulls. We'll have to wait and see what we can do as well. From 9th place on the grid, it's time for the race then for today's Belgian Grand Prix.
Welcome along then to the Belgian Grand Prix. The race that gave us the maiden victory to the Jordan team in 1998, and in the same team, the phenomenal debut of a young Michael Schumacher. There's always something special just around one of the many corners of this fan favourite circuit. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes Forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high quality racing as well. Simply put, there really is no place quite like it. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Kevin Magnussen lines up on pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Tsunoda, Valtteri Bottas and Sainz, Russell, Phoenix, Mick Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton, Joe, Leclerc, Esteban Ocon and Stroll, Norris, Schwartzman, Nicholas Latifi and Alex Albon. Gasly, they've taken a grid penalty, and Sebastian Vettel starts from the back of the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Anthony Davidson, thanks for joining me again for the Grand Prix. Can we begin by having a chat about Charles Leclerc? Looks as if they have a tough race in store today, as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the grid.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Okay, now that we've got some good points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Thanks, Mark. As a race strategy is a one-stop then. Medium to soft though. I haven't done this since Canada. Less said about that race, the better. But I think this strategy will work, unlike in Canada. We should have better pace at the end, especially with slower drivers about. 5 lights, the Belgian Grand Prix, and away we go. And it's the usual okay start. Schumacher's going to have the inside. We're just going to be patient. Have a look at the inside. Russell almost been squeezed at turn 1, but we escaped just about there. We got ahead of Russell, which is crucial as well. And now we're watching Tsunoda and Bottas. We need to get past these two as quickly as possible. Sainz is being held up by both of these two, because both of these two, Tsunoda hasn't scored points for about 5 seasons as well. I'm going to get Sainz here at the bus stop chicane. He's caught mapping. We're up to P6, so it's been a good start as we get a warning for a collision as Magnussen starting to run away a little bit potentially with the other Piastri and Verstappen there. Obviously Leclerc down the order as well with Diamond at the hairpin. No intention to make any contact there, but we are up another position. I'm going to jump to lap 2 now. We're on the back of Bottas. We need to get Bottas as soon as possible because that Aston Martin is very slow car. They haven't upgraded to the way, and you know there are rumours that Bottas could leave that team as Russell actually followed me through. It's a nice little overtake. I wanted to do that one where we go round the outside of that corner, but Bottas, to be fair to him, he did have the inside, kept his foot in there, but he has lost out to Russell as well. It's not really his fights today. His fight's more with Tsunoda. Meanwhile, further down the order, Lando Norris and Sebastian Vettel both fighting for points. But Norris holds on. Well, not fighting points, they're fighting for position, excuse me, as well. As Sainz finally gets past Bottas through the middle sector, has a bit more downforce than the Aston Martin. Sainz is through, but it's cost him at least 4 seconds to Russell and Marcel, 3.5 seconds. Move to lap 4. Now we're catching up to Tsunoda. Live with this, Yuki. 227 miles an hour down the straight. That's 1 more mile an hour than managed previously. And Tsunoda stands no chance. He's doing 208 miles an hour. It's, you know, that's Red Bull speed. That's what Red Bull get to experience in 2023. 20 miles more with the DRS down the straight. And you know, that straight line speed is helping us out big time. We did manage to build a gap to Tsunoda. Russell got caught behind Tsunoda, which is good for us. We don't want him getting involved with us and pestering us, even though the Mercedes is well, let's just say a snail in a straight line. As well as we come into the pits then, This is going to be a good stop. Yeah, it's 2.4. Can't get Magnussen. Well, I think Verstappen has jumped Piastri. He has. So that's unfortunate for Oscar. We'll try and help him out. But now we're on the better tyres. The top 4 have closed in. There's Verstappen. Confirmation. Him getting part. He's now the effective race leader as he overtakes Kevin Magnussen once Schumacher makes his stop from the race lead. But Magnussen, we know how good that AlphaTauri is in the straight line. He's got DRS down the inside of Verstappen, and he actually has to complete it on the outside, then turn the inside next corner, and Magnussen will once again be the de facto race leader. Now though, we jump to lap number 7. Magnussen not quite got the position in the corners, and we're going to have a little look around the outside of Oscar. Gives us the space on the outside. We're just going to power through. I want Oscar to sort of follow me through, really. See if we can get him past Verstappen or Magnussen. That would be nice for a 1-2 for the team. You know, we're on the better tyres. We've got the better pace, I feel, at this stage of the race. So it's only right that Williams play the strategy to get at very least a double podium. But we're going to help Oscar out here by going a little bit naughty and a little bit deep into the bus stop, which will allow him to come alongside Verstappen. As well. We'll get the move on Verstappen, and Piastri has followed me through as well. But obviously, yeah, you see there, it's a little bit too deep for Verstappen. That allows Piastri to get the better line round the outside, and it's a lovely little move from our teammate, who should have better pace from Verstappen anyway as well. And he's actually able to drop Verstappen as well, almost out of DRS range. We're come up to lap number 8. Yeah, I could have had a look at Magnussen at the bus stop, but I decided against it and decided to instead wait until the KEMMEL straight, and we'll just embarrass him with the straight line speed of the Porsche versus the Ford engine as well. Although, to be fair, he has a great exit out of turn 1. You know, he's 7/10 up, but we're now using a bit of the ERS as well. Obviously, Ford engine is not as good as the Porsche engine, but that car is good in the straight line we saw earlier, but it's still no match as we get up to 227 miles an hour, and we're so fast we can even pull back to the racing line to take the corner as well. Now Bottas, it's not gone so well for him, and he's made a mistake. Bottas has made a mistake. Zhou's gone through, so Alfa Romeo are set to get their first points, as has Ocon there. Not Albon, excuse me. So that's unlucky for Bottas to not get his, well, I think second points of the season. Our driver decides to celebrate a little bit too early and crawls up to the line. Fortunately, there was another gap to Magnussen. But ladies and gentlemen, that's a race win for Williams. The first race win for Williams since 2012. In this story mode.
So after a day of mixed fortunes up and down the field, we bring today's race to a close. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think we'll chalk this one up to a deft touch on the brake pedal. That's allowed them to challenge down the inside into the braking zones, and ultimately, if you do that often enough, you end up winning the race. It was great to watch as well though, wasn't it? Forget strategy, forget tyre management. Who doesn't love a good old-fashioned scrap?
Well, what a thrilling end to an incredible Grand Prix weekend. Our top 3 finishers should be incredibly happy with what they were able to achieve out there today.
I'm very happy with that. You know, we started P8, but I knew that, you know, obviously with the rain, that we could have started a lot higher up. And obviously I knew we had the race pace because, you know, previous seasons we've won here. The setup is absolutely fantastic. Works every time with the tree. As well, it's worked with the AlphaTauri, it's worked with the Red Bull, it's worked with McLaren, and now it's worked with the Williams. You know, it's getting a result time after time, and you know, could be the start, kickstart our season. 42.7. Obviously we sauce at the end, lower fuel, so there's a bit of mitigation to compare to the AI's fastest times. A lot of them got stuck in traffic in AI trains. To be fair, Piastri's pace wasn't that bad. He was faster than Magnussen as well. So this could be the start of a title challenge for us. Maybe in the constructors, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see about that. None of the big people got points. Leclerc, Albon and Gasly no score points today, so Verstappen's the big gainer. We've also gained big, so Leclerc has lost out big time and Magnussen's caught him up as well. So we're up to P4, Piastri up to P9, and really top 10. I'm not going to count out too many people. We've still got 7 races left, but I think that's a little bit too hard. We're 73 points back in the constructors. If we get, a couple of 1-2s, and we're going to be right up there, fighting for a constructors championship for Williams. Williams have not been this high for years, as well as McLaren get some points through for Tsunoda. So a good job by Yuki. There's been ultimately a lot of questions. The fact that he didn't score any points at Williams. Now the cars come good, and Piastri's delivered a 3rd place today. A little bit iffy that he couldn't get past Verstappen without our help though, so obviously he's got a little bit of work to do, but his focus is high as well, so I'm sure he's going to get, now he's got the podium, I think he's just going to get better and better and better throughout this series. For us, we've got to focus as well, trying to get another good result next time at the Netherlands, Zandvoort, so that's going to be a bit more difficult track for us compared to Belgium, and then Italy as well next week to follow. Should hopefully get another win. So yes, that's where I'm going to leave it today's episode. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. See plenty more F122 Drive Equipment videos as when they come out. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.